How is it going out there, you Aggie loving cunts? Today, I'm going to have a little discussion on the amendments. This is obviously my first time doing this, so give me a little bit of leeway in the sense of maintaining the chat and whatnot. So, overall, I'm just going to start with a brief understanding of the amendments. The First Amendment to the Constitution states that, obviously, the first 10 amendments being the Bill of Rights, which is an entirely different document than the Constitution, but Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, which is very important considering the political climate we have nowadays, or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Now, in no way, shape, or form am I going to pretend to believe that anyone out there is going to say that simply because a person says something, you deserve to get hit in the face. However, there are a group of people that believe that. And, well, quite frankly, those people are cunts. But anybody that burns the flag of free speech doesn't look upon the First Amendment and say, well, since I have the freedom to burn this flag, it means that this flag should be burned, representing the same freedom that I also have. Now, keep in mind, I have no issue with burning the American flag. Well, I do have an issue with burning the American flag. I think it's fucking dumb. It's idiotic and it's trampling upon the rights that you were given. Those rights being the ability to burn a fucking flag. But in no way should I believe that you should be locked up for those things. But the people that are burning the flag of free speech don't realize that they are essentially treading upon the very rights and abilities given to them by our founding fathers that allow them to do those things. It's idiotic to me. It's like, oh, flag that represents free speech, but well, you know what? I don't realize in any way, shape, or form I have no self-awareness to understand the fact that what I'm doing is actually burning the very thing that actually gives me the right to do those things. But I digress. Moving on. As usual, like I said before, it's my first live stream, so give me a few seconds to catch up on everything as far as the live chat and whatnot goes. I will be going on to the Second Amendment very shortly. So, if you are not aware, the Second Amendment is obviously the right to bear arms, which is in of itself a touchy subject given the political climate. Well, quite frankly, Durf, pedophilia is not okay. It's a mental illness. You know what else is a mental illness? Suicide. I feel like suicide is okay too. Maybe you should fucking try that. Pedophilia is not okay because you're ruining a child's life. I already went over that. Yeah, fucking turbotard. Alright, since this jackass brought it up, let's have a discussion about mental health overall. Now, as an individual that suffers from mental health issues, I myself am not devoid of my own mental health problems. Is this your argument? Is this your argument? Have you watched my video on pedophilia? Obviously not, because you know full well I cited an actually very hilarious study done by the University of Rochester Medical Center, which points out that even teenagers aren't capable of discerning between what is rational thought and what is emotional thought. Since teenagers, keep in mind, teenagers being above the age of 12, 13, and plus, since teenagers can't divulge what the concept of rational thought is, devoid of emotion, therefore, anybody below that age obviously fucking can't either. This is the reason why we don't allow 18-year-olds, or excuse me, this is the reason why we don't allow 16-year-olds to fucking vote, dumbass. But we're not here to talk about pedophilia. So, Second Amendment. Why is the Second Amendment important? Well, the Second Amendment essentially protects the First. Congress shall make, or excuse me, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So, essentially what this does is it separates the individual from you're devoid of any. So you're telling me that the people at the University of Rochester Medical Center is devoid of any intelligence? Are you special? Once again, not discussing pedophilia here. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Essentially, what this is a protection of the people from the state. Because if you have no arms and therefore no ways to defend yourself, the government can come in and tell you what you can and can't do for any reason whatsoever. So let's say, for the sake of argument, we're dealing with Catalonia. We already saw what happened in Catalonia, the massive fucking shit show that was. That is the reason why we need the Second Amendment. Also, the revolution in America was caused by, I do believe, around the realm of 7% of the population that was bearing arms. But I might be wrong about that. Moving on. Amendment number 3. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in the time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. So what had happened during the Revolutionary War, even essentially before the war actually started, was a lot of people dealt with the British putting their soldiers in their houses under the pretense of defending the kingdom overall, quote unquote. Essentially, this dissolves the government's ability to do that. All right, moving on to number 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Essentially, what this does is it protects you from being illegally held against your will and for your personal belongings to be searched. Now, this just comes down to my discussion I had with Charles Marlowe before. Great guy, very, very personal, very polite, and the discussion I could have done a hell of a lot better in presenting my personal beliefs. However, and Boober, I'm going to give you hold on a second. I am going to give you a wrench as soon as I figure out how to do that. Hold on. There you go. You are wrenched. Maintain the menagerie for the rest of my time, if you don't mind. Also, let me know if anything's going on. I shall pay attention to the wrenched. Hypocrisy there is not lost on me. Hashtag wrenchless revolt. So the point is to defend an individual's rights against the police. Now, the reason why this is so important is because in my personal perspective, the individual is far more important than the whole overall. So what this does is it defends you from the government coming in and being like, all right, since we're here, we're going to confiscate everything you want. Essentially, Mother Russia, essentially, is what you're dealing with there. But also on the side of it, the reason why this makes a certain discussion I had with Charles Marlowe more important is because it involves alcoholic driving. See, now, traffic stops are usually put in place to catch drunk drivers and people not wearing their seatbelts. Now, in regards to seatbelts, what you do with your own life is your individual preference. In no way, shape, or form should the government dictate to you what you can and can't do with your own individual preference. In regards to drunk driving, I can see where some people have an issue with it. However, the laws regarding drunk driving have become immensely fucking obscure. An example, in New York State, a 0.06 blood alcohol volume level makes you fucking drunk. Oh, dead space, I realize. What's it talking about? Oh, the reason why it's the ambiguity is such an issue is because 6% alcohol. If I go out as an adult male that weighs in the realm of 160 to 170 pounds, if I have an alcoholic beverage, a beer, a shot, or a glass of wine, I am considered drunk in the eyes of the law. Now, I had a discussion with somebody else in regards to this is, oh, you may cause an issue. Well, yeah, but the victimless crimes are still illegal. There is no such thing as a victimless crime. You have to create a victim in order for it to be a crime. So essentially, this boils down to me saying over and over and over again, and essentially, I do realize this is a slippery slope argument, but the more rights that you chip away as a government, the more rights, personal rights you can infringe on based upon those rights overall. But I will have somebody on soon who has a far more compulsory understanding of the Constitution as a whole than I do. Once again, I hope my moderator, Boober Lee, will keep things in check as much as possible. And I will be sending the link to her relatively soon. I hope. All right, there it is. I sent it to her. So, why? Well, yes, you can take out a means of transportation, but here's the thing. In the U.S., since it's such a broad layer of area, there is nothing. When you take away an individual's right to drive, you also take away an individual's ability to get a job, an individual's ability to get to work. And I covered this when I talked to Marlo about it as well. It's not a privilege, it's a right. The right to travel is covered by the 14th Amendment. The minute we start restricting that, the minute the government has it as a use of, as an ability to create leverage upon an individual to pay for fines that they may or may not deem as proper. See, the thing is that the government isn't there as a tax revenue service or a fine revenue service, which is what the police has become. They are there to uphold the social contract. Yes, you can travel by other means, but here's the thing: are you going to bicycle 25 miles to work? A fucking course not. You're going to hop into a car and drive it. So should I have to pay to go to work if I want to hop into a taxi? Well, that seems relatively retarded to me. And I'm not going to argue with you that the concept of the drunk driver behind the wheel of a vehicle is dangerous. Yes, it is dangerous, but here's the thing. Well, yes, some people do, but should they? Should they be delegated that simply because they fucked up once? They blew a .06 because they had a beer at dinner? The disconnect becomes because it's become such a moral choice to say that anybody that has beer and hops in a vehicle is drunk driving. When in reality, we have people that drive and listen to music and pay attention to the radio all the time. That's not illegal. Oh, but now we call it distracted driving. So now the cops have even more of an opportunity to infringe upon your rights. My point of it all is that an individual has extent, and the government shouldn't overstep those bounds. Well, yeah, that's an issue. That's the point, is that you are not supposed to be able to convict somebody of a crime if there is no victim. That's the reason why we have free speech and freedom of expression, is because you can say what you want. Doesn't mean somebody's going to get hurt because of it. Just like you can hop into a vehicle after having a bar, or excuse me, after going to the bar and having a beer, it doesn't mean that you're going to. Well, yeah, you're punishing for the what if. Well, what if that individual had a beer and got into a vehicle and ran over somebody? You can't punish what ifs. Oh, Talus is here. Hey, Talus, what's going on, buddy? You can't punish an individual for a crime that they may commit. Well, yeah, because you're conspiring to commit murder. Just because you have a beer at a bar doesn't mean you're going to hop in your car and run over somebody. See, the issue is it's a perceived crime. You perceive that this individual that has a beer is going to cause a crime. This is a very large jump into the side of authoritarianism. Also, on top of that, it's up to the cops. Usually the cops. That's what I'm looking for. Discernation whether or not that individual is actually drunk or not. So, with that being said, this is the reason why personal freedom is so important. Is because an individual can't. You can't make an individual do something. You can't legislate behavior. You can tell people that they shouldn't drink and drive. All right, fair enough. All right, you shouldn't get shit-faced and get behind the wheel of your vehicle. All right, I can see that argument. However, shit-faced has a multitude of levels to it. Isn't a murder plot a future crime? Yes, it is. That's called, I do believe, in technical terms, planned murder? I can't think of the word of it right now. If I had GG right now, you'd tell me. Planned action versus is versus a possible outcome, of course. Because you, as an individual, you might not actually cause that outcome. Now, this also comes to the firearm aspect of it too, because an individual who owns a firearm isn't going to cause a mass murder. Just much in the same sense that an individual that hops behind the wheel of a vehicle that's had one beer isn't going to run somebody over. Hell, just because that person had one beer, maybe that person ran somebody over because they're too busy playing with the fucking radio. We just attribute it to alcohol because it's the easiest thing to pass the blame on to. Actually, it's 0.06 now, Talus, in New York State. In New York State is 0.06 blood alcohol volume, which is less than a beer for somebody my weight. Which is the reason why I feel like the government has taken an overstep. But let's get back to the discussion of the amendments. So after, what were we, number 4? So we're going to go number 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in case, excuse me, my alcohol is showing, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Oh, now we're getting into an entirely different level of hypocrisy when it comes to government. See, now the Fifth Amendment, as many of you probably know, covers I shall not be in any way, shape, or form publicly allowed to speak against myself. In other words, I shall not say anything that may incriminate myself. However, it also does not talk. Most people do not talk about the side of it that's involved in A, the military, or B, the individual should not be deprived of life, liberty, or property. Now, when one is indicated in a crime, usually the government goes immediately after an individual's personal belongings, such as wealth, money, property, etc., etc., etc. Now, this is in mainly due because the system is no longer about punishing people for doing wrong things. It's about making fucking money. The last part of that was to defend people from having that happen to them. Well, yeah, I mean, in the case of vehicles, Talis, an individual should not have their vehicle impounded by the law for parking on a public road while drunken, which is usually the charge you're given if you're pulled over with a DUI. Well, like speeding tickets in a certain regard, speeding tickets, it comes down to the individual breaking a law that's set by usually the community, which is entirely different. I'm totally fine with that. After all, I do believe libertarianism works in the sense of social norms depicted by a smaller community because the federal government is, well, let's fucking face it, inflated and full of itself. But with that being said, well, yeah, they take. What am I doing streaming? Like, G-Money, you're gonna go to the fucking Saints anyway. You don't want to listen to this shit. Drugs should be illegal to begin with. Before the early 1900s, there was no law dictating what you can and can't do with drugs, and the government was fine that way. The world worked fine that way until the government got their fucking nose in it. The government got their nose in it, and all of a sudden we have the fucking shit show we do now, where billions upon billions of dollars are being put into the fucking prison system just to support these assholes. Quite frankly, let them go. They want to do drugs? Fine. I don't want to pay for it. Oh, trap should definitely be illegal. It's not fucking gay. It's straight with benefits. Jesus Christ, we already came over this. We already know that traps are just straight with benefits. Traps, however, are not covered in the amendments, as it were. So, G Money A, you are getting a wrench. Talus, you're getting a wrench because you are OG as fuck. Wrenches for everybody. So, no, it's not a it's not a feminine penis. It's a woman's dick. Get it right. All right, where was I? After number 5, number 6 in all criminal persecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him and or her, if you want to be progressive, to have compulsory process for obtaining witness in his and or her favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Essentially, if you can afford an attorney, one shall be presented to you. Oh, look at all my beautiful wrenches down there. Keep that goddamn shit tight as fuck. So, an individual is presented with a crime, essentially, we'll say for the sake of argument, I don't know, rape. Let's say presented with rape. You have the right to a public defender. Therefore, there is somebody that's supposed to be ascertained to you by the state, which in my libertarian sense kind of makes me cringe a little bit, but I understand it because due process of law, it makes sense. However, you are also allowed to choose to defend yourself as well. So overall, that one essentially covers the whole lawyer and legal aspect of our judiciary system. If you aren't aware, the amendments overall protect personal freedoms separate from the government, except when the government is actually in the sense of, well, say for the sake of argument, in this case, a public defender. So, at what point do we, as an individual society, understand that the main reason why this is in place is to protect the individual? Well, quite frankly, considering a certain amount of hashtag Me Too's and the listen and believe mentality that's going on around the world, take it as you will. Because after all, due process, proven innocent until proven guilty makes no fucking difference whatsoever. It's only a matter of my fee-fees after all. In suits at this is minute 7, by the way, so we are 7/10 of the way there. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States. Keep in mind the United States. Then, according to the rules of common law. I am in no way, shape, or form up to date on my common laws, so more or less what this covers in my eyes is that so long as the individual's price doesn't cover $20, it's more or less left up to the individual. However, let's move on to number 8. Excessive bail should not be required, nor excessive fine imposed, or cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. Now, this one has an air of, shall we say, ambiguity to it, because the concept of excessive bail is, of course, brought upon the individual. Now, in my sister's sense, when she was dealing with, I talked about this on Marlowe's stream as well, when it dealt with the DWI that she had, which was by the way, her first offense, she was imposed with a $1,000 fine, losing her license, and given no way, shape, or form in a way to get out of that cost. So she was essentially handed, here's the banknote, you have to pay it regardless of whether or not we give you the opportunity to work. Which, by the way, driving without a license is, in some cases, considered a felony. So, let me get this straight. Excessive bail shall not be acquired. Not excessive fines shall be imposed, but we're allowed to take away an individual's right to drive simply because they got caught drinking and driving, which, by the way, I already covered upon this. The 0.06% bullshit is fucking ridiculous. But we have April here now who has much more of a compulsory understanding of the Constitution than I do, and I'm sure she can frame this in a far more coherent and far less drunk manner than I can. So, take it away, April.
What do you want me to take away?
Amendment number 8.
I didn't hear number 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, or 6, or 7.
Oh, you're late to the party then.
Hey, I've been texting you saying you didn't give me the information to get here. So what do you
I have no
are
text
we
whatsoever
talking
from
about
you.
contract law? Are we talking about
Well,
traveling? Or what are we talking about? Because it sounds like traveling.
so there's no dead air. Amendment number 8. What's your compulsory understanding of it? What's your overall agenda? I mean, not agenda, but what is your understanding of it?
I don't even know if I have the understanding, but what I just heard was something about traveling, like people are going to get in trouble for driving because they did something bad. What?
Amendment number 8 states that excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. And
Okay.
I went off on a tangent about how this boils down to an individual's. It when in particular my sister went into a court of law and she was basically stripped of her license for blowing. I do believe it was a .10, which is two at the point was 0.02% higher than the legal limit.
Okay, well,
She was
it,
stripped of
it,
her right to drive, and she was when she asked the judge, "Well, how am I supposed to get to work to pay the fines?" The judge just said, "Well, that's your problem and not mine."
okay. So basically, we're talking about a driver's license.
Yes, and we're also talking about hold on a second. Sorry, I thought I saw something in chat. Anyway, we're talking about excessive bail or fines shall not be imposed. I do believe that to be an excessive fine.
Oh, but
Stripping an
see,
individual's ability to drive seems to be an excessive fine to me. Can you disagree with me on that or not?
I will disagree with you on that. Because when
How do
you
you mean?
go and get that driver's license, that's a whole contract that you're submitting yourself to. And if you don't understand that contract, you shouldn't be signing it. Um, so yeah, if you get that driver's license, you're basically screwed.
In what
Now,
regard?
now let's go to excessive fines and all that wonderful stuff. Um, do you want the definition of excessive fines to adhere to today or back then?
We'll go back then because essentially when it was written is when it was most relevant.
Okay, that's great. But do you realize that since 1776 all the way up to when uh, the 1836 there was no how am I going to put this correctly for you guys to actually understand?
Paraphrase.
I, no, I'm because if I say there's no interest, there's no other things, you guys still won't understand. Um,
Try us.
try you? Should I really try you?
Do as you will. We're all about political discussion here. We're all about smart talks and stuff. We're also about discourse. Yes, Boober, but the 14th
Okay,
Amendment, the
there's no
14th Amendment
interest.
depend the 14th.
There's no interest that ended up happening to us from 1776 all the way up to 18. I'm gonna go to 1835. It might be 1833 though. I could be that's where I'm a little shaky on those few years.
Okay.
I mean, a bread
So
of loaf costs the same amount from that point of time all the way up.
All right. So if you want to deal with the inflation, I'm talking about excessive fines. What do you define as an excessive fine?
Oh,
By
an
those things.
excessive. No, we didn't have excessive fines.
We have excessive fines now.
No, we didn't have excessive fines. What our founders determined as excessive fines were more than what a certain percentage of what we could put forth, and that was it. So let's say I made $1,000 a year. So an excessive fine would be, I'm not even quite sure. I am now assuming would be $100.
So a 10% of the individual's income.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
I'm
see, that makes
assuming. Because it was never declared what an excessive fine was. And that's where I mean I find faults in the Constitution. I don't have problems with saying I have faults that I find in it, but show me where in the Constitution where it says that excessive fines should be a certain amount. I can't find that.
well, they were well aware of the concept of inflation, I'm sure. That's the
They
reason why I
no,
said the
no
right to bear arms, not the right to bear a musket.
at that point of time they had no concept of inflation because they'd never had any
Are
of
you,
them.
are you sure within the borders of the United States they probably haven't, but throughout history they probably have.
No, they set up the government to where no, we were not going to be dealing with inflation.
Well, yeah, hold on. Boober in the chat says excessive fines isn't defined. Oh, by the way, I'm echoing off of you, so if you could switch to your mic, I'd appreciate it.
No,
Uh,
because say that what it costs
excess,
to get a loaf of bread from 1776 all the way up to 1836, 35, 36, 37, it was the same cost.
well,
So if we want to talk about inflation, that's a different aspect. So what is it you want to talk about?
April, do you have your mic on?
I have my mic on. I'm right here.
I can hear myself echoing off of it.
What?
I can hear myself echoing off your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I aimed it incorrectly. Sorry. Is this better?
Hold on, we'll find out. No, not any better. I can still hear myself echoing.
Is this better?
Is it better now? In the chat. All right, chat says we're good. All right, so going back to what Boober said, she said excessive fines isn't defined. That's what it sounds like. Well, yes, because back then the forefathers were smart enough to understand that the world is going to change, so they were aware of inflation or whatever.
No, back then they didn't even worry about inflation because the way they set up our monetary system, there was going to be no inflation. And that's why from 1776 to 1835, and again, I could be wrong, it could be 1832. There was no inflation. The amount that it cost to get a loaf of bread was the same for all that time because we didn't have
Well, yeah,
inflation.
we also dealt with the gold standard as well back in the days, and
That's how we're still supposed to be.
yeah, but it's
Because
not.
it's
You're dealing.
what the Constitution demands.
Well, to be fair, the Constitution means that we don't have a Federal Reserve either.
Okay, we don't even have to worry about the Federal Reserve. All we have to realize is that we have a gold standard, period. End of
I had
story.
no issue with.
So it doesn't even matter that there's a Federal Reserve sitting there because we're all playing with the Federal Reserve.
Well, of course we are. I mean, we play with it. We play with the Federal Reserve every single time that we deal with fucking cash. Hell, even digital cash, there's a fucking tax on it.
Oh no,
This,
no, we don't. We, the people, do not have to play with the Federal Reserve.
how do you mean?
We, the people,
Even
do not have to play with the Federal Reserve.
are
We,
you
the
not holding are you not holding any cash in your hand?
can I not have sex with you in return for some chicken eggs?
Well, yes, you can have sex in return for chicken eggs, but are you not holding
So
cash in your
so
hand?
so if we make that agreement, then we're not playing with the Federal Reserve, are we?
No, I do. I have to concede that I mean 100% correct because they cannot tax chicken eggs. I'm pretty sure if they could, they would.
And our wages are never, ever, ever. If you look at the Constitution, our wages are never to be taxed either.
Well,
Now,
the
are
income
you
tax.
willing are you willing to stand up to the federal government and say, "You don't get this. This is mine. I made an agreement to get this, whether it's dollars, the paper funny money, in return, it's an equal exchange. There's no profit that's being made. Are you willing to stand up to the government?"
In regards to standing up the government, it only took 3% of the 3% of the population in the colonial U.S. to create the revolution. So,
Okay. Are you willing to accept the fact that your wages, whatever it is that you do in exchange for even the dollars, the Federal Reserve money that you get in return, are you willing to tell the government you don't get any of this because of this article? And can you name the article in the Constitution that says you don't get it because it's an equal exchange? It's not a profit.
well, I could pull up the government. Well, we're not talking about the articles today. We're talking about the amendments. Stay on topic.
Oh, but it was made very clear when they made article or amendment 16 that no, the government didn't get any more rights to your money than what they already had. So, knowing that, are you willing to stand up to the government and say, you don't get my money?
Well, if I had my way, I'd work under the tables much more than I do already. That's besides the point.
You
Also, I'm
didn't
echoing
have, oh my God, you never had to work, quote, under the table. You just have to know your rights.
Well, moving on from that. Going on for number 8, we're going to number 9.
Okay.
Amendment number 9 states that the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people.
There's a reason why Article 9 in the that we're talking about the see this is where I have a problem because these are actually articles. But there's a reason why there's number 9 before number 10. Number 10 is talking about state rights. There's a reason why number 9 comes before number 10, because if it weren't for us, the people, there'd be no number 10.
Well, yes, number 10 would be the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people, when in reality it should be designated to the people. But we don't want mob rule either.
That's why we have number 9 before number 10. And
So
yes,
what
they
is,
are, and yes, they are articles in the Bill of Rights.
hold on.
They're not amendments. They didn't amend anything in the Constitution.
Well, this is the Bill of Rights.
That's what I just said. It's actually Article 9 that you just brought up in the Bill of Rights. And the Bill of Rights are not amendments. They didn't amend or change anything in the Constitution.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the
But
one
there
through
is
10
a
is the Bill of
reason.
Rights.
But there's a reason why the right of the people in Article 9 in the Bill of Rights comes before Article 10, the states' rights. There's a reason why.
And why is that?
Because if it weren't for us people, there'd be no states. And they'd have no state rights. And the states' rights are only granted to them by we the people.
Of course.
Because this is a government by we the people.
Now, hold on. I have a question for you. How do you feel? I have a question for you as I go to the bathroom. So feel free to speak to the chat and the world at large. I said that. Hold on. Now the U.S. dollar is only worth as much as the government names it. "Quote unquote temporary food tax" here in Phoenix. Boober said that. Talus, yeah.
You're
Boober, the
talking
government
about
would come after you. Hold on, let me finish. The government would come after you, IRS. That's what Boober said. My response is the IRS is extortion. Talus agrees with me. And Talus also said nowadays. So I want you to break down how you feel about the IRS while I'm away. So keep in mind you're talking to the chat and not me.
Okay. Well, the first time we, the people, were taxed were when Abraham Lincoln brought up a tax upon us, we the people, which was actually declared unconstitutional. And then in 1912, the Congress created the IRS basically and started taxing us directly, which is still unconstitutional. I don't know where else you want me to go because I'm not reading anything. And I don't even know where to read what he's talking about. But I've shown him how and why I am able to fish whenever I want, wherever I want. I don't have a driver's license, and when I get pulled over and they want my driver's license and I just tell them I'm actually traveling freely, and I give them specific evidence of how and why I'm able to do this. Yeah, it
Hold on.
takes a lot of time to drive, and I'm using the word drive fluently only because that's what everyone uses now. But
I want the chat. Did you not? Could you not see the chat while I left?
No, because I don't have your Google or your
You could
page.
just. You could just do what I do and just search my name and then
No, you
click
could
on the live
actually
stream and
give
then
me
pull up
a
the chat.
link. You could actually
I
give
didn't
me a
give you the
link.
link. You're here.
No, there's a link that you're at on your
Boober, in response, at Boober, in response to that, you are allowed to not fish, because that's technically the commercial term for it. You are allowed to take fish from any body of water within the borders of the United States without a license. That is legal. Treaty of Versailles, or excuse me, Treaty of Paris in
you're taking that
1783.
information that I gave you. By the way,
Well, no, I looked it up and I read the article
I
myself as
told you
well.
what it was. I told you which treaty it was.
You said 1789. You lied to me.
I didn't lie. I told you I might have the year wrong, but I know
Yeah.
what the hell I'm talking about. And
But yeah,
I
Boober,
told you exactly what
in
it said,
regards,
and you said, "Oh, it says the same thing. Look at this." I said, "Okay, fine. That's the
in,
right one that I was talking about." I'm not
in
really
regards to that,
good with
Boober,
years. And I've told you that. I'm not good with years.
I'm not arguing with you. Calm down, calm down. In regards to that, Boober, as well. I'm echoing really bad on my. I don't know about the chat if they can hear that.
Well, give me a link so I know where everyone else is at.
Just go to my channel and just click on the live stream.
Oh, God, I can't.
You can't or you won't.
Oh, okay. I'm trying right now. Where the hell are you? Okay, I'm looking. Replying to Booberby. Okay, I'm looking. You don't have anything going up right now.
Talis, I think that's just my internet connection. It's either that or my computer or shit.
No, I'm looking here. Hold on.
This is Drunk Aggy streams, so don't
Nope,
expect
nope.
much
All
in the
I'm
way of
getting
food
is Google Hangout.
Hold on.
No, I mean, if you want me
can
to,
you view the live chat?
I am. It's well, no. I'm here in the Google.
In the Google Hangouts, check out the group chat.
Oh, over there. Okay. Hold on. 1 second.
Don't mind me, just working with it.
Oh,
All right, so what number were?
Now I see Boober and you and Tellus. Tellus says,
Oh,
yeah.
G Money. Talis is the man. Don't let him forget that cute little fucking dog picture of his.
Well, I can't see the pictures. I mean, it's just.
Oh, you can't see a picture of that. Horrible. All right. Number 9.
Drunk struggles laugh out loud. That's what Tellus said.
He's not wrong. This is my drunk stream after all. Amendment number 9 states that the wait, did we already cover this? We did already cover this. Amendment number 10, and this will finish
That's
the
states'
coverage.
rights. Who cares? I honestly don't care about states' rights. Especially when the states don't respect my individual rights. So go on. Go on
Oh, so let's
go
do
go
you
on
want to
to
go
11.
Do you want to go further? You want to go further?
What?
Do you want to go to number 11?
Yeah, go to 11.
All right. Article. Oh shit! Doesn't article.
It's awesome. I've
3.
turned you on to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So that's.
I always appreciated the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, but Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution
How
is
many?
modified
Hold
by
on.
Amendment
How
11.
many articles are in the Constitution?
7.
And why do you know that?
No, because you had me look it up one day to prove a
Oh,
point.
is it because of me? Oh,
That's not what we're talking about here. Move on.
oh goodness. And how many articles in the Bill of Rights do I accept?
10. There
Good
are no
boy.
articles in the Bill of Rights. It's amendments.
No, they aren't. The Bill of Rights, they actually have articles, and I will show you the next. I will prove it.
I will sure, yeah, you'll prove it to me. I got you. I got you. The judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in any law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizens of, or subjects of any foreign state.
So, what's that mean to you? You just read it, so
Uh,
tell me what it means to you.
It shall not be extended to any individual outside of the borders of
What
the
does shall
United
not
States.
mean? What
It
does
won't.
shall not mean?
It won't.
No, it means there's no possible way.
Yes, it won't.
No, because I have to put it into terms that people understand today. We once upon a time we understood shall not meant
Hell, even I understand that. What fucking person doesn't understand that?
oh, lots of people don't understand that.
That's depressing. But moving on. From that, we'll have a discussion about number 11.
11's fun.
Oh, in what regard?
Read it again.
I already read it.
Read it
The
again.
judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizens or subjects of any foreign state. Essentially, that divulges anybody within the borders of the United States from being subject to law outside of that state.
Okay, so let's say you and I end up having a baby. You impregnate me, I have the baby, and I move. Now what? Now what's going to happen?
Well, judging by this law, you are shit out of luck.
Actually,
the
you're
judicial
the one
power-
shit out of luck.
Well, typical in male, but that's besides the point.
No, actually, um, in a lot of states, the men are now being promoted. I'll put it nicely. But you impregnate me and I'm in another state. Now what? What's that say to you?
The judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state. You're not in another state
Oh,
outside
but
of
I
the
could be.
U.S.
I could get up and move to another state. So now what does this say? What does the 11th Amendment say? Because you're calling them amendments, so I'm just
Well, that is
playing
literally
with
the
you.
11th Amendment, is it not? Or am I wrong?
Well, for me personally, it's the First Amendment, but whatever.
How do you mean?
Well, because the Bill of Rights has 10 articles in it, and all of you people call them amendments. So now this is the 11th
The Bill of Rights has 10
amendment.
amendments.
For me, it's the First Amendment. But what's it say to you?
It says to me that an individual without outside of the borders of the United States is held to a different standard in regards to the law than an individual within the borders of the
That
United
it did
States.
no. That's not what it says.
And what does it say, smartass?
Start off on the very first part.
All right, very first part. The judicial power of the United States shall only be construed to
The
extend to any
judicial power of what?
the United States,
Which would be what?
anywhere within the borders of the United States or the
Oh,
Supreme
no, no, no,
Court.
no, no.
The Supreme Court is the
That,
judicial power.
back up. What are they talking about? They're talking about the federal, right? The federal
Yes,
government.
federal government trumps state.
Do you know what the federal government is and where they actually have bounds?
The federal government has bounds within the borders of the United States. The federal government trumps state
Okay,
government.
fine. What's within the United States?
Continental 48, Hawaii, and Alaska.
Wrong.
Oh, really? Enlighten me.
The federal government is bound to 10 square miles. Go back to the original Constitution and you'll see.
Okay.
Now, if you just said it constituted the federal government is within the 48 states plus Hawaii and Alaska. When did Alaska come into the Union?
Hmm.
Long after the 11th Amendment, as you put it, came into being. Long after Hawaii came into being. Long after Montana, Wyoming, Nevada, Colorado, and a whole bunch of other states. So let's.
Alaska was 1959, 1960.
When do you think that the 11th was passed?
Back in the 1700s. That's irrelevant. The point is, it is supposed to be held upon.
Actually, it was the early 1800s. So.
Oh, excuse me. Regardless, its the Constitution is held as the supreme law within the borders of the United States.
No, but
am
you
I
just
right or am I wrong?
Listen. We have the Constitution. That's one piece of documentation that brought in the 13 colonies, correct?
Correct.
Great. Then after that, we had the Bill of Rights. And yes, they had the Bill of Rights, and each one of them were originally called articles as well. The 10 articles or amendments, as everyone wants to call them now. Hold on. But when did that happen?
7 articles of the Constitution are legislative branch.
I didn't ask about the Constitution.
You asked when they were.
I asked about the Bill of Rights now.
Oh, the Bill of Rights. Oh, so you want to know about the original 10. So the Bill of Rights, let's see here, and quick Google search for posterity. Bill of Rights. Da, da, da. I do believe
when was the Bill of Rights
17.
passed?
I do believe in the top of my head 1787. However, looking at one from
isn't that
1791.
funny? And then when was the? We're now on the what? 11th article, right?
Yes.
When was that passed?
Ooh, the 11th Amendment. By the way, amendment is different than article.
No, you were calling the Bill of Rights articles, so I'm working with you on calling them amendments.
March 4th, 1794. Ratified February 7th, 1795.
Okay, great. So, do you think Nevada was in there then? And Alaska and Hawaii?
No, but why would the law be expressed
You
differently
you just
depending on
said
where it is
that it would include them all. Why would it
at the
why
time?
would it include them all at that point
Are
in
they
time?
or are they not under the law of the United States?
No, they're not under the law of the United States. They came in on equal footing doctrine. You might want to Google that one for a change because it's actually in the Constitution. And
So which
I'm
point?
the point is there is no the federal government, as you want to put it, does not have more rights than the states have. And the states do not have more rights than I have. Me. I'm the individual. I'm I'm the one with the individual rights.
This is the reason why it's called We the People. However, you have to remember that when a state is when a state is developed into our nation, they follow the laws that we have dictated. It's not, oh, you get to have your own separate laws aside from ours.
No, 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 no,
The
no. That's
Constitution is
bullshit.
still the law
That's
of land.
bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because states' rights
How?
supersede the federal government. And
No, they don't.
I'll prove this to you in a very clear, concise way.
Oh, do so.
Because I'm so
Smart ass.
old that I
Oh,
was a child and grew up with the drinking age being 18. The federal government came in and said, oh, you need to raise the drinking age to 19.
you're only proving
Oh,
my point.
hold on. And if you don't, we're not going to help you pay for the interstate roads.
Oh, so
Hold on,
so
hold on,
instead of it,
hold on.
wait, wait, wait.
Let me continue. And
All
so
right, all right.
so Wyoming is actually the last state that jumped onto the oh fuck, we really need assistance with paying for the state roads to the point that they made it to the age of 21. So
At the end of
that's
the
how they
day,
superseded the states' rights is by
yeah,
we're hey, this is the interstate road. Well, fuck you. You still have to do this because that's
yes,
what
that
we're
is
paying.
that's the point I was trying to make.
Okay,
The
great.
federal government supersedes the state government. They may
And
not do it
but
directly. They may do it by simply cutting off
why
funding.
why does why are there happenstances, and I'll put it that way, happenstances. Why does the federal government happenstance in different scenarios supersede state rights? Why does that happen?
Because the federal government is viewed as the Supreme Court, the judicial court. That's eventually when you go to court, if you have to bring it to the Supreme level, you will end up under federal court.
Wrong.
I agree with it. Oh,
Wrong.
how is it wrong?
Wrong. 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 Wrong.
Ah,
The reason that happens is because the state says, okay, you can take over these you can take over these things on us because we don't want to deal with them anymore. That's how it happened. Do you know that we're not
yes.
even supposed to have all of
See,
these friggin' wonderful, great places that are, oh, as the federal government loves to call them, like Yellowstone National Parks.
I quite frankly have far more bigger things to worry about in my life than national parks. I don't care.
Oh, but if you care about your state, because you're giving up, you are actually, as a person in a state, you are giving them your state, you're giving them.
Yeah, you're giving the property. I get it where you're coming from. However, the fact of the matter is,
I wasn't saying
I
property.
agree with you. I agree with you. But there
Wasn't
are
saying
certain things that
property.
have to,
Wasn't even going to go with property, but sure, let's go with that.
there are
No,
certain
you're
things we have to pull back.
you're giving them temporary powers. These people that you put in office, you're giving them temporary powers. Because that's really what you're doing.
Goober says in the chat, removing federal funding if states don't do what the federal government wants. States gave the federal government a lot of control. I can agree entirely with that, which is a very fucking bad idea. The federal government answers to a large number of people. The large number of people being the whole government. They can sway a lot of opinion by holding a lot of political
How about we go
sway
back to the
rally.
Constitution? How about we go back to the Constitution and read how the Senate was supposed to be voted for? How about we go back to that?
Well, you could do that, but hold on, let me finish. I want to continue what I was talking about before. What I was talking about before was that the power, and Talos made a good point. He said that, and it's hard to get that control back once given. And he makes
We
a very good
never
point.
gave
And
it.
I
We
no,
never
we
gave
did.
it.
We did as people through voting. Let me finish.
No,
It
we
was a matter.
never
No,
even
let me
gave it
finish.
through
Let me finish.
voting.
Let me
They
finish.
just
Calm down.
assumed it. It's called
Well,
usurpation.
let me finish. A lot of the problem arose from people wanting the government to have more power, to have more control over their lives, essentially to have safety nets in place for when they fuck up. This is the reason why I don't believe in a welfare state. You make your fuck ups, you deal with the consequences. In this regard, what happens is the government essentially comes in and takes money out of people's pockets to give to other people to tell them that this individual is having a hard time. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this money and we're going to store it in a bank. But as we all know from past political situations, they're going to take that money and they're going to use it for other things in the meantime. So essentially, the government has become a bank.
It's not called a bank.
I don't care what the fuck it's called. It's the same concept.
And not
It's
even
still
close.
wrong.
No, it's not even close to the same concept as a quote bank.
How not? They take your money, they hold it in a particular place for an extended period of time, and they dole it out to you as they see fit.
Yeah. How many banks do you know do that? They don't. No, it's called theft.
Well,
It's
taxation
called
is extortion.
thievery. It's called
Taxation is
extortion.
extortion. Taxation is extortion. That's the proper terminology.
Well, only when, it's dealing with, if I make an agreement that I'm going to work for X amount of money in return, it's an equal exchange. Wages were never and still are not to ever be taxed.
Well, so you believe in the concept that income tax essentially is another way of extortion or indentured servitude.
Oh, are wages are totally different than quote income, because if you look at the definition of income at the time and you look at the definition of wages, they're totally different. They never took it.
But what I was saying is, do you disagree or agree that the concept of wages being taxed is equal to
If I
indentured
give you a
servitude?
if I give you a blowjob and you agree to give me 4 chicken eggs in return, and that's our agreement, the government has no business in that agreement. If I agree
Well,
to
quick.
mow your yard in return for $18, the government has no business in that. That's not income. That's an
Yes,
That is you and me agreeing upon an equal exchange of
but
services.
the issue lies.
It's not a quote income. Income means you're making a profit. You put money forward. Let's say you put money into the railroad and then you get a profit later on. That's what income really is. Me working at the local grocery store, that's not an income. That's an equal exchange of what they said they'd pay me for me bagging groceries.
So, as outside of that fact, quick comment. I have been running for an extended period of time. Maybe another 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to shut it down, just so you know.
Oh, you're gonna leave me now?
Well, I do have to go to bed and go to work in the morning. I hate to break it to you, but I do have a social life. I
Oh, you got to go and give the government money.
essentially, yes. Unfortunately, as much as I disagree with that, I do believe that taxation is extortion. I can agree with you entirely. But the fundamental difference I have overall when it comes
You're
to
not
it
making
is,
a profit. You're not making a profit when you're saying, "Look, I'm going to rebuild people's roofs for this amount of money," and someone who hires you to do that and says, "Yeah, that's what it's worth." That's not a profit. Income means there's a profit being made. Now, the
well, my issue
moment
with
that
tax,
everyone
my
agrees with
issue.
me on that and decides, you know what, we're all going to do 1099s, and then we're going to prove to the government, no, this was an equal exchange. There was no profit ever made. Then we'll start making a difference. The biggest difference we can
Hold,
make is getting rid of the IRS.
hold on, hold on. I agree with you and getting rid of the IRS. However, I do believe a flat tax, or we could talk about that in
On
another,
those who make a profit.
ad nauseum. However, for the
As
sake of
long as it's
time,
those who make a
for the sake
profit.
for the sake of time, Boober in the chat says equal exchanges are not profits. That is interesting.
That's what I've been saying.
Calm down. There's no reason to act. There's no reason to get snooty here.
I'm not getting snooty. I really like whoever you just said that. That's what I've been saying.
Boober, you have a 10 out of 10 according to April. 100% can confirm. Talos says good for a stream. My buddy Talos in the chat. Let's see here. That is it for all those folks. There's after all, there's only 2 people watching, so I don't know what to fucking pay attention to. But in regards to taxation, I believe in no taxes at all, but I'm an extremist. So we'll say for the sake
You're
of
not an
argument, I settle on a flat
extremist.
tax.
You're not an
I
extremist.
believe it.
You're an originalist.
Not even an originalist. People have believed in no tax since the beginning of time. We call this anarchism. I'm not an anarchist, though. I'm a minarchist
No,
at the most.
no, you're an
Boober speaks
originalist.
truth in Trat.
You're an originalist. If you
I
believe what I believe, that if you and I'm hiring you to fix my roof, and we come across, whatever agreement we come across, there's no profit for either of us. Neither of us should ever be taxed. Period.
All right, in 15 minutes, I was shutting the stream down, just so you know. But I'm posting a link to Twitter now. I probably should have done that fucking sooner so people know about it. But in regards to what you're talking about, all right. Well, further to go on the taxation thing, a lot of people believe that if you increase the tax on, we'll say for the sake of argument, fossil fuels, that you will dissuade people from actually driving a vehicle. My argument to that is we are already taxed on a multitude of levels based upon our oil because it's
We're
taxed when
already
it comes into the
taxed on
country.
it.
It's taxed when it drives to the depot. It's taxed when it's at the refinery. It's taxed when it goes to the place that you buy it off the fucking pump. So you're taxed 4 times.
No, we're already taxed on it, and you're going to be taxed on it because what are the bicycles made out of now? Plastics, plastic is made out of what? Oil.
Petroleum, yeah. Talis in the chat says, I could fix a roof for a month of blowjobs, maybe. Then again, I need my roof fixed. I'm sorry, buddy, but you are not that good looking.
Oh, but I might be. Unfortunately, I don't need my roof fixed. My roof is fine. I need to fix the wiring on my heater.
Well, quit fucking wiggling the goddamn thing.
Hey, the only way I get it working is when I move the wires around. So,
Sounds like a sexual issue.
sounds like I need an electrician.
I ain't sticking my fucking hands in there. I know better than that shit. You kidding me? I mean, I'm gonna stick my dick in it, but that's besides the point. Joking aside, because I am a cute little dog. Yes, you are.
No,
He also has experience in heater repair. Talus does have the cutest little dog for a fucking face for a profile picture. I can't argue with that at all. I have a
okay,
soft
so
spot
is
for animals.
Talos anywhere near here so I can get someone to actually friggin' work the wires correctly? Because everyone who puts their hands in it, they fuck it up every time they put their hands in it.
Talus, that's your job.
Now
Hop
I'm
right in
left.
there, buddy.
Now I'm left with all I have to do is just move the 2 little wires.
What color are they?
Oh God, white and white. Because
Common
obviously
and common.
somebody who dealt with it the last hands that
Oh
got
dear
in it,
God.
they fucked it up.
Talus, don't fall for it. Don't fall into that shit. That one is supposed to be common and one is supposed to be ground, probably. So you have a 50% chance of sticking your hand on a hot wire.
No, I've stuck my hand way in there and I've never gotten zapped.
That's just dirty. I've been electrocuted before, says Talus in chat.
And by the way, I love you, honey, but stop giving away my $1 million question, okay?
Probably. I guess, Talus, that's what I said. White is common, and I do believe black or green is ground in house wiring.
Oh no, I've got a blue wire that's hanging out that's not connected to anything as well.
She's got a fucking bomb wire in her goddamn basement. The thing's probably fucking beeping as we speak.
I said blue.
Yeah, cut the blue wire.
Oh, it's already cut off. I mean, it's just I actually found it and I'm like, okay, I don't even know where this is supposed to go. So I just wrapped it around a couple other wires.
Don't ask, Alice. This is the reason why I don't work on car electrics when somebody already has their hands in it.
Hey,
Well, I was going to take this
all
black
I
wire and attach it to this
I've
red wire. What's the worst thing that could happen?
I didn't unhook any wires or anything. All I hear is buzz, 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 buzz type of thing. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm looking in there and I'm moving a few wires. I'm not unhooking them. I'm just moving them into different positions. Once I get them in the right position, then I sit there and listen and make sure there's no buzz, buzz, buzz going on. And then I leave. And now I have heat. So it works out well for me.
She's in there fucking rattling around.
You think I'm making this shit up?
I don't think you're making it up. I believe you entirely.
Hey, they're just not hooked into the fucking contacts correctly. I'm convinced of it. Oh, and then I found the one wire and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Who the fuck hooked
You
this
have
shit
wires
up?
hanging out of places. It's more than things aren't just probably connected right.
Well,
Talus says you probably shouldn't be touching them.
listen, I've only had 4 different electricians play with this fucking thing. And that's why it looks like it is now. Because electricians fucking suck in this area. So
I think I know the answer. Well, shit, I should get a fucking job down there as an electrician. Then I know exactly what you're fucking talking about. You have fucking ground crossed into common. No wonder why the fuck it doesn't work properly.
well,
But
I don't know. Maybe you should come fix my ground.
bound chicka bow wow.
Bow chicka bow wow.
Talus asks, "Is it gas or is it oil?"
Oil.
That's what I figured. He says, "Oh, definitely something wrong with that." Yeah, I'm well aware. Considering gas is simply spark,
And
oil is compression and
no, the
spark.
nozzle is not dirty because I just replaced it.
Ooh, the nozzle's not dirty, huh? Bow chicka bow wow.
Bow chicka bow wow. Hey, maybe I can get you and Talus showing up here.
We can get both of our nozzles dirty if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, bow chicka bow bow.
And it's devolved into debauchery. That sounds like one of my normal streams. That's better. That's a lot more lighthearted. I like it.
Yeah, you still fucked up on the Bill of Rights, by the way.
Oh, suck half of my dick.
Only half?
I mean, the whole thing if you want to. I don't want to argue with you.
Oh, do you think I could take
the whole
do you
thing.
think I could suck all of it at once?
I mean, could you? Oh my god. They're not wrong. Died now. The stream name
as
makes
far
sense.
as what you told me, it's what? 11 inches?
Hey, whoa. Leave that out of the conversation.
Hey, you let it go that way.
Yeah. I bit myself in my own ass. Would be the first. This is the reason why I can't have nice steaks.
This is why you can't make steaks. I can make a steak
I
all day long. Are you kidding me? This is why you can't make a steak.
I can make steaks all day. You just shove it in, you flip it over, and that's done. It's just like sex.
No, not like sex. Jesus Christ.
It was always destined to Dallas. Dallas is not at all wrong.
What Talus say now?
6 more minutes.
What Talus say now?
6 more minutes. He said it was always destined to go this way. He is 100% accurate. I am a dirty motherfucker.
That's only your fault. That's only your fault because you fucked up the Bill of Rights.
This is your fault because you came in here all, I know what you're talking about.
No, I was actually trying to hopefully get some electrician to tell me stop sticking my hand in the wires, but hey.
You already told you to stop sticking your fucking hand in the goddamn wires.
Hey, my
I don't
hands
know
in
why
the
it's
wire.
happening.
My hands in the wires is the only reason I have heat in this house.
I can't
I
imagine.
get
I
a
can't imagine
man's
why this is
hands
bad.
in
Let
the
me fist my furnace.
I get a man's hands in the wires and my heat goes out. So
I get a man hands in those goddamn wires. The heat will turn on hotter than Vesuvius's dick.
no, my hands are the best.
I'll argue with that one.
Just keep me away from dildos because I break them every time.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ, woman. Stop fucking breaking them. Jesus Christ.
Come
You
on,
don't
that's
have to
not-
fucking treat them like a jackhammer.
I can play with wires, dildos. I break them all the time.
Never stick
Yeah.
your hand into wires on faulty things. Are these metaphorical wires?
No, they're real wires. I'll make a video of me showing you how I play with the wires.
She was all up in them wires.
But I get a dildo. I think I do too many kegels.
No, you fucking
I do way
you
too many
break those.
kegels and I break dildos left and right.
Nope, that's it.
Every
I'm getting you a metal one. A giant fucking metal one.
oh I was
Solid steel. Here, break this.
I don't think they make them.
No, but if they did, challenge would be accepted, wouldn't it?
Just give me a dildo with some wires, I'll fix it correctly.
Meaning you'll beat it into submission.
It's not my fault.
Dildos.
It's not my fault I do kegels habitually and then break dildos.
Dildos don't have enough wires. Fucking smart ass. Movers in the chat, she's like, what the fuck did I get myself into? She's dead. She's dead. We killed her. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, about vibrators. My personal experience. You can buy like the really cheap ones, where they come
And
with
they
like one
last
AAA
longer.
battery.
The cheap ones last longer than the expensive ones. That's my experience.
But the thing is that with the cheap ones though, you're not wedging them in your fucking vagina like a jackhammer
The
though.
cheap ones don't have the great vibrations though.
Exactly. They got all those extra parts. I mean, isn't that what women like?
But you get the expensive dildo and it's got
Wait.
all these different speeds and all the different rotations on the shaft part. And yeah, that's
Well, you
great
treat it like a
for-
manual.
But then I break it.
You treat it like a manual. You treat it like a manual car when it's in it. Bow,
Chicka bow bow.
Exactly. You get the speed. You shift to the next gear.
Now, imagine this. I do so many kegels, I break a dildo. What do you think I'm going to do to a dick?
Break my dick. I'll give you $20.
Ooh. Make it 100
Cyber
and
Monday.
make it 100 and I will.
Monday just started. Fucking God damn it.
There's somebody else here. There's somebody else
there?
here.
There's two of us.
You guys
No, no, I'm talking
go ahead.
about dildos. Aggy's dildos guaranteed to stand up to Alex Jones doesn't melt steel beams.
Oh, I fucking hate Ass Jones. Fuck him.
Oh, come on, he's funny.
Oh, Ass Jones is the worst fucking person on the planet. I swear to God, he is. See, you people are probably too young to remember when Y2K happened, and he was telling people,
you people, huh?
telling
Are you assuming my gender? Are you assuming my race?
He was Ass Jones was telling people, at Y2K when it was happening. Oh my God, we have nuclear attacks happening and all this other shit. Freaking people the fuck out. And
If the people are dumb enough to fall for it, let them.
no, he scared the shit out of people. And
Tallis says that he
but
is
anytime
over
he gets
30.
it, him and Cernovich are like two fucking pieces in pot. Have you read Cernovich's shit that he when he was a fucking pickup artist? How he was so fucking racist and so misogynist. I don't believe in misogyny until I read Cernovich's shit when he was a pickup artist. Then I was like,
we're not
you're a
arguing
fucking
with you.
misogynist.
We're not
And
arguing
you're a
with
racist.
We're not arguing with you that they're stupid people. We're just saying that they're funny. It's funny to laugh at stupid people. It's funny to laugh at a retard fucking a doorknob.
Oh, is that what you're doing with me now? Because I play with the wires in my heater.
That's
and I
funny.
break dildos. Okay, I'm sorry. Me.
You're making. So you're jumping to
actually
conclusions
breaking
now.
dildos. That is kind of funny. But
you're jumping to conclusions now. Is that how you get? Is that how you get exercise? You jump to conclusions. We're laughing at you because that electricity is 220 volts and you're sticking your fucking hands in it. Bad idea. B, breaking your dildos is funny because fucking lay off them for a fucking second, will you? Jesus, they need a break too.
No,
Hashtag dildos lives matter.
No, that's just me being dedicated to doing Kegels. That's why I break them. Now, me sticking my hand in my furnace and adjusting the wires to where they stop clicking and give me heat, then that's just me being smart.
I mean, whatever works for you. Different strokes for different folks. But still, it's like you're shoving your hand in there. And it's like you do realize those are wires attached to a house.
But I'm not sitting around telling people, oh, the water that they're feeding us is making the frogs gay.
Frogs can't be gay. They don't even have dicks.
Frogs will automatically change their way of...
They're hermaphrodites. They change to the environment to reproduce. I understand that.
If there's not enough men around, that they'll automatically change, and if there's not any females around, they'll change. That's how frogs have always been.
You're giving Alex Jones agency by allowing this concept to bother you so much that you have to make an argument against it scientifically, regardless of whether or not the whole world knows it's already not true.
What the hell is going on where everybody in the mainstream or alternative mainstream media, that's what I call them, alternative mainstream media, why are they all fucking lispy?
I mean, I don't fucking watch the mainstream media, so I don't know or don't care.
And here's my other question. Why do they always say woman when they mean women? Woman means one, women means multiple. But they all say woman.
Women is plural, and this is obviously running longer than I intended, so give me 5 seconds. April, if you could please entertain the chat.
I'll entertain you. What do you want me to do?
Hold on. Nobody considers Alex Jones smart. Tallis also says Alex Jones is a racist, sexist moron. Do you agree or disagree? Continue.
I disagree. He's just an ass. I don't think I don't think that Alex Jones is racist. No. I think he's a big, huge, fucking fat monkey ass. And I'm really sorry to all the monkeys out there that I included that word.
Now that is just, are you assuming the monkey's gender? Are you assuming their ass? Nazi. Get Nazi on the stream.
No,
Obviously, fucking joking.
no. When I call Alex Jones Ass Jones, I keep 2 double S's, dollar signs
Right,
for the ass, because he's in
Boober,
it for all the money. Obviously, because he's out there now giving you Viagra.
well, Boober and Talos, both the viewers say that. I'll paraphrase here. Alex Jones is funny, but I wouldn't take him seriously.
Yay,
Talos says
Boober!
he's.
I don't even know what Boober is, but yay,
Boober is actually Boober got me in touch with Charles Marlowe, so kudos
Okay.
there. Talos says he's definitely a moron.
Yay!
However, he also
Talos.
says Talos also says hold on. Talos has been up since 2 a.m. I am in no rush to go though. That too. He's in the worst ghetto chat, just spying on us. Says Boober, she's not inaccurate.
Who's not inaccurate? Me or Boober?
Boober is not inaccurate. What I said that I just heard.
Oh, but why
Ooh,
am
irate
I
prostate.
not
Have you ever heard of irate prostate?
I know. Irate. What is his name? Irate. Irate. I don't think it's prostrate though.
Rosa D. Angry Unicorn is in the
It's
chat.
irate. It's irate. Irate. Well, what is his name? Irate something, but it's not irate prostate straight.
Prostate. Irate prostate. He does an Alex Jones impersonation every now and again.
Okay. Well, oh, I was thinking of irate. What is it? I gotta think for a second. Irate bear. That's what I was thinking.
All right, you're dealing with far higher subscribers than my channel is privy to.
Oh, by the way, I will let it be known publicly right now. I actually like Spencer.
Richard Spencer.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. That's your choice.
I've listened to him. I've listened to him and I've heard what he had to say. By the way, I'm not white. But I've listened to what he said and I can't argue with I can't come up with a viable debate against what I've heard him say.
All right, so I can push this. I can push this for another. I'll say, since Rose Angry Unicorn just showed up, and we all know
Oh, we
that
always love any unicorn.
that we all know that the unicorn is love. So
unicorn is awesome. I don't care if
we shall push this
or whatever. So you're hanging here longer now because unicorn showed up.
We'll push this. Well, also on top of that,
I'll remember that. I'll remember that.
No, because it has to do with the discussion. Don't straw man me. We'll push it to 145 my time. So, in regards to Richard Spencer, how do you feel overall about white nationalism?
Honestly, do you want an honest answer from someone who's not white?
I want an answer. Yeah, of course I want an honest answer. I don't want you to lie. I'm not going to judge you for your opinion. Your opinion is your opinion. I can disagree with you every day. It doesn't matter.
With the things that I've actually heard him say, as opposed to what I was told to believe about him, he's actually a very stand-up guy, and I like what he has to say, and I have a very hard time coming back with a really good argument against his beliefs. He's not KKK. He's not advocating for a genocide. he's not advocating for non-whites being kicked out of America.
Okay.
I got to the point where I was so confused because I was starting to listen to what he was saying as opposed to just, and it's so weird that I just believed what people were saying about him. He's nothing like what people are saying about him. The KKK has actually disavowed him. So that right there kind of went for me in the midst of me trying to figure out who this guy is. In the middle of it, I find out that the KKK wants nothing to do with them. I'm thinking, well, he can't be that whiteist, whiteress. He can't
Well,
be. And I saw him on one video where someone said, "Am I white enough?" And he said, "Yeah, you look white to me." And this chick was like, "Well, no, I'm Persian or something, or Iranian or something." He said, and he started laughing. He says, "Do you realize you're more right now, skin color wise? You are literally more white than I am." And then I saw another video where someone said, "Am I white enough?" And they're not pure white, and they said, "Hey, I have this in me," and da 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 da. And he said, "There is nothing that we're calling. You have to be white enough. You just have to identify as white." That's
so
it.
my issue with
That's all
this,
we're talking about. Is if I was up here and I was black and saying this, would you come up and say, "Am I black enough?" And that person would say, "Well, your skin tone is going to be this." He actually realizes that we're not all going to be the same exact skin tone.
now,
Just as long as
I
you
have to,
identify as white and
to me, it has
he's
nothing to do with identifying as white. My nationalism is based upon Western culture. As
well,
long as you attribute yourself to the
no,
Western
no. I
culture, I
was
don't
just
give a
going
fuck
on the
how you
white part.
identify with.
I was just going on the white part. Nationalism for me, and this is how I grew up, nationalism was just a love for the nation that you're in.
Oh well, of course it was with me too, but that's changed over the time. Talents, however, in the chat says creating a white ethno-state is bad. Peaceful pride in your race is good. I can agree with that entirely. There's nothing wrong with being
All I
proud and
can
being
say,
white.
then all I can say is with the one person who just said creating a that type of
An ethno-state.
then they have to be 100% against Israel, because that's what Israel is.
In what regard?
It's Jewish, and every Jewish person, even if they don't live there, that's their national home.
I hate to break it to you, but if we were to go by Jewish as instead of a religion as an ethnicity, then I am Jewish.
Well, that's fine. Then
On my
you
German,
have,
on my German Jew side.
then you have a national home to go to.
Then no, it's Judaism.
Whereas whites don't.
Judaism is a religion, not an ethnicity. Much like Islam is a religion, not an ethnicity.
Oh no, actually, you're a little bit wrong.
How so? How is Judaism not a religion? Can a black person not be a Jew? Can a black person not be a member of Islam? Could a white person not be in Islam or a member of the Jewish religion?
No, you can be Jewish, but Islam or Islam, Israel.
G Money in the Bank says that 20% of people living in Israel are Arabic.
Israel is set for Jews. And those are, if you look in the Bible, it's a blood.
Yeah, but the Bible is the Bible. The Bible's a good story. It's not that. It's that. It's story.
And let me even go further with that. If you read the Quran, it's kind of like that, except that they made sure that blacks are not to be real Muslims. They are the ones to be enslaved. So, because I've actually read the Quran and the Talmud.
So I've read the Quran and the Bible
and the Book of Mormon. I've read this crap. That's why I'm an atheist. Because I've read these things.
I'm not an atheist. However, G Money made a very good point in the chat, saying that 20% of people living in Israel are Arabic. It is not an ethno state, white or Jewish, otherwise.
Where do you think the Jews were?
So what defines a Jew then?
It's
a person that identifies as a Jew?
It's a bloodline.
No.
Yeah,
it's a religion.
It really is.
No, it's a religion.
Go read Judaism. The Talmud. Go read the Talmud and then get back to me.
Yeah, that's a book. We're not talking about the religion as a whole, in that sense.
I'm talking about Israel, and I'm talking about the 6 million Jews repeatedly for years, even before anyone ever heard of Hitler, where they're going to all be killed. I have a video that shows newspapers from the 1920s, long before Hitler came around, long before World War II. And they kept talking about these 6 million Jews. And then it's so convenient that Hitler comes along and now we've got the state of Israel. And after World War II, 6 million Jews were killed. I'm sorry. They weren't the only ones killed. And I don't know how you end up with 6 million of us are going to be killed. 6 million of us are going to be killed. 6 million of us are being killed long before Hitler came around. And then if you really look at what happened in Germany, if you really look, what about the gypsies? What about the artists?
It's actually it was 6 million, not 6 billion.
That's why I kept saying. And if you look in these other newspapers,
there was also Jews. They also killed Christians, Catholics, and people of political dissent. Serb civilians.
Oh no, but it's always
about 212.
There is a thing. No, you don't understand. There's a thing where they kept saying 6 million Jews, 6 million Jews, 6 million Jews, 6 million Jews, long before Hitler even was heard of, let alone.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing.
Power. It's always 6 million Jews, 6 million Jews.
Jews in general, up to 6 million. However, Soviet civilians, which included 1.3 million Jews, which, by the way, pushes that number to 7.3 million, were also included in that number. Your argument is invalid.
What on what part? That the Russians did that?
The Russians threw 1.3 million Jews to the fires, yes.
how did they do that when they were our allies and we were?
They were on the front lines when they got caught by the enemy. They were tossed into the ovens.
But we were
It's not that
protecting
difficult of a
them.
concept to understand.
And so was Russia at the time.
Well, to be fair, Russia at that time was throwing anybody that is even remotely of dissenting opinion to the fires as well. Nazism and communism are one and the fucking same.
No, they're not the same.
Are. The only difference is that in
but they're not.
No. In National Socialism, the government is ran by the military. In Marxism, the government is ran by the government. However, the only way that they can enforce what they do in the Marxist side is by use of the military. Essentially, it's the same fucking person.
Really? Do you know that Germany teamed up with the Muslims?
Yes, in World War I, yes, they did. The Ottoman Empire.
No, that was
I am
World
aware of
War
my
II.
history.
No, that was World War II.
Are you sure?
Oh, I guarantee it was World War II.
Oh, so if I Google Axis powers right now at this particular moment in time.
Oh, there's a specific group of Muslims that teamed up with Germany. Yeah.
Germany, Italy, Japan. Those were the Axis powers. And in no way, shape, or form are any of those Muslim.
And yes, Muslims, there was a whole sect of Muslims.
I wouldn't doubt that in the least, but the fact of the matter is that they weren't part of the major group.
World War II.
Major part of the
World
group.
War II. World War II. Go Google it. I've got to go mix my drink because I can't drink this.
I did just Google it. The three major powers were Italy, Germany, and Japan. Those were the Axis powers. That's not a difficult of a concept to understand.
Really, you want to be a dickhead to me right now? Fine.
I'm not being a dickhead. I'm just saying those were the Axis powers.
I'm pulling up my own notes. Hold on, I got it pulled up my.
Weren't you gonna go mix a drink?
No, now because your Google obviously broke. And I'm going into my notes. Oh, fuck. I got the wrong goddamn thing hooked up. Crap. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds to hook up my other hard drive that's sitting right here.
And of course, we're well aware of the fact that Italy is the epitome of fascism, of course, which is also the epitome of socialism, which eventually devolves into communism. You should be aware of that. A compulsory understanding of Benito Mussolini's book.
Now I have the perfect thing for you to Google because I just found it in my other note. I had to get my other external hard drive hooked up that I've got right here. It is the 13th Waffen Mountain Division of the SS Handschar, and that is the Islam group. So just look 13 Waffen, and you should find it. Now I'm going
13 Waffen. All right, we'll discuss that. 13 Waffen.
13TH
SS Mountain Division. All right, I gotcha.
WNFFEN, and I'm going to make a few. I got
Division. All right.
Hold on,
I
hold
have a
on.
bookmark. Give me a second.
Listen. I gotta go roll a few smokes, and I gotta mix this drink because there's no answer.
Only if you throw a little bit of good bud in those smokes.
I don't have bud, and I don't do bud.
Straight edge.
Re-
13th. You can go ahead and roll your smokes. I'll give a chat the overview of what we're discussing. The 13th Waffen Mountain Division of the SS Hanscher, first Croatian, was a mountain infantry division of the Waffen SS, an armed branch of the German Nazi Party that served alongside, but was not formally part of the Wehrmacht during World War II.
Oh wait,
from March to December 1944.
Hold on. It sounds like you're reading off of Wikipedia, which is Alexa, which is going to make it sound much better. There's videos. Go find the fucking videos of this shit happening.
Just go and do whatever the fuck you're doing. I got this. I'll cross-reference after.
Stop promoting the fucking shit that Wikipedia and Alexa are.
Go. I got this. All right, where was I? From March to December 1944, I fought a counterinsurgency campaign against communist-led Yugoslav partisan resistance forces in the independent state of Croatia. Hilarious. A fascist puppet state of Germany. Oh, okay. So it was an independent state, or it was a fascist puppet. One or the other. Make up your fucking mind. All of modern-day Bosnia and Herzegovina, probably pronouncing it wrong, as well as parts of Serbia. That's a giant ice block in the northeastern part of Russia, but notwithstanding, it was given the title Hunskar after a local fighting knife or sword carried by Ottoman policemen during the centuries that the region was part of the Ottoman Empire. It was the first non-Germanic Waffen-SS division, and its formation marked the expansion of the Waffen-SS into a multi-ethnic military force composed of Bosnian Muslims, with some Catholic Croat soldiers and mostly German and Yugoslavic Deutschmen, mostly officers and non-commissioned officers. It took an oath of allegiance to both Adolf Hitler and the Croatian leader Ante Pavelic. Can't pronounce that name. I couldn't fucking give a shit less. So essentially, they were indoctrinated into the SS. It kind of makes sense considering that Islam has a propensity for, well, quite frankly, genocide. Rosa D Unicorn in the chat, being moist as fuck as usually. My biggest issue with what was going on in page, and I'm going to have to extend this another 5 minutes for posterity's sake. God knows I hate a hypocrite to cut shit out. So the Allied powers were essentially Germany, Italy, and Japan. Japan being introduced far later. These individuals, countries as they were, perpetuated a concept of blitzkrieg, more or less, and we, not necessarily us individually as the US, but the West in general, continued to feed Hitler the baby that he was in hopes that he would lay down and go to sleep instead of continuing his warpath. Much in the regards we have with YouTube and Twitter when it comes to SJWs. Maybe you're just going a little bit more to leave us alone. But they won't.
It's funny how you end up with YouTube and Twitter and in your summary. Isn't that funny? You didn't really what?
You didn't really what? You missed my entire point where I was cutting apart what they were saying.
Okay.
Go back and watch the chat again. I am not going to divulge again. I am too fucking drunk to remember that shit. Aggy drunk streams.
Okay, so I'm going to show you stuff when it comes to.
Oh, wait, I want to keep my channel monetized. Who am I fucking kidding? I'm not monetized.
Did you get monetized? Yay, you.
No. I never got monetized. I never asked for it.
Oh, is
I
that
do this
why,
as a.
is that why you just
I do this as a hobby. I couldn't give a fuck less. That's the point. I get to say whatever the fuck I want. Oh, you're gonna demonetize me? Big fucking whoop. I'm not monetized anyway. Go fuck yourself.
I never threatened to demonetize you.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about YouTube.
Super
You can say whatever you want. I don't care.
All right, so what are you doing this weekend? You coming to visit?
Should be. Depends. I have Charles Marlowe for not this weekend, but the weekend after next, I do believe. I'm gonna try to do a live stream every weekend to kind of bridge my content since I do Mondays
do it
or
from
Tuesdays and Thursdays. I could, but I don't want your little doggo barking over my shoulder.
Well,
G Money in the Bank has to go to bed. That little bitch ass bitch going to fucking bed. This motherfucker down to go work in the morning.
oh my God! I just looked at your chat. Rosa, the angry unicorn's here. Yay! Hi, Rosa. Gotta tell her hi. I did. I just opened up your thing. Oh, now I see what you're talking about with tails. Talus. It's not tails, it's Talus.
Talus, you see cute ass dog you got for a thumbnail?
Sorry, I'm looking now. Rosa the angry unicorn. I can't believe she's here. That's awesome.
I see a cute ass dog, I melt. True story. Cat, same way. That's the reason why G Money in the Bank's got my heart. Look at that cute ass cat. We get all of the ghetto as we're here.
Rosa the angry unicorn. She's awesome.
She's all over the place. Much like unicorns usually are, if you catch my meaning.
Well, they're all invisible and they're all just not real.
Talus is damn right. Damn right, that's a cute ass dog.
I'm trying to catch up on this stuff now. Oh my God. How many people are mad at me now? Luckily, even though I was re-streaming Angry Pepe's stream and Dan S told on me that I was re-streaming it, and Angry Pepe got really angry and damn near booted me, but he didn't. But he told me today that he's still in love with me, so we're all good.
You damn near got your pee-pee smacked. I realize now with all the wrenches I see, I may have gone overboard with giving people wrenches. But since I don't have many viewers, you don't post in the chat, so I see no reason to give you one.
Let me see.
You won't have one until I give you one. Kinky. But
and I'm the one you're talking to. Wow.
I can't give you one until you fucking post. Jesus Christ, woman.
And I...
You're the first way. I can do this.
There you go. Look, see how nice I am about it?
I can do the hashtag wrenchless revolt because I technically don't have a wrench. I'll give you a wrench.
No, that was cute. Can I be a wrench too? I thought that was cute.
Oh shit, Rose has got the fucking back.
Is she yelling at me? No, she's not yelling at me. She likes me, right?
Oh damn, she's got the fucking back of me all day, every day. Look at these goddamn cunts. Well, I'm gonna consider my fan base from now on the glorious cunts.
Oh, if Rose is mad at me, I'm gonna kind of get a little hurt.
Oh, she's not fucking mad at you. Calm the hell down.
You still really need to learn the Constitution and learn.
Oh, I'm reading up on it. I'm doing a video on. I'm probably doing a video on Thursday after my Barlow debate where I was absolutely fucking just terrible. I felt so bad about that. It wasn't even a debate, it was just a discussion, but I still felt bad about it because I should have presented my arguments in a much more concise and contrived fucking manner.
Oh, you mean like I did
But
with you, telling you that? Oh, sorry, the Bill of Rights. Those are articles as well.
no, it was a discussion whether or not it was a discussion more upon morals.
Oh, there's nothing morals about the Constitution. It's just the law. Had nothing to do with morals.
Well, no, it's
No, if you want to talk
he
about
was trying.
morals,
He was
then it's
more or
the Bill
less
of Rights.
trying. He was more or less trying to say that if an individual gets behind the wheel of a car and is drunk, then the individual should face consequences for it. Which I was like, well, what defines drunk? Because in New York State, I don't know about the rest of the country, but New York State is .06.
What was he saying? Oh, you should have called me and brought me in on that while I was drunk.
Well,
I don't
it was a
think so.
discussion. It wasn't a debate. That's the point. I wanted to be civil as possible. Which, despite the fact that he disagreed with me and I disagreed with him, it was very lighthearted and very polite, and I appreciated it.
Okay, type. I'm gonna do this hashtag. Hold on. There we go. Okay, sorry. No, seriously, you should have brought me in on drunk mode.
Well, no, I didn't want anybody else there. I didn't want the guy to feel like I was tag teaming him. Which, if you want that, is relevant.
Tag
Day
team.
joke. Bounce,
Hey, we
bounce,
could have
bow
just
wow.
done a threesome and got it over and done with. Come on,
Bounce, bow
giggle
wow.
and laugh. Bow chicka bow bow.
No,
That
but
would have been.
I didn't. I didn't want to bring. I don't want to really bring anybody else in. I wanted to be a calm, civil discussion between the two of us regarding politics.
Hello, women and men and all unicorns. I'm kind of picky about who I have sex with, so that was actually a joke. When I said we could have done a threesome.
Hashtag love all unicorns.
Not all. Hashtag not all. Oh yeah, I was talking to my.
That's racist.
No, I was talking to my daughter and her friend, and I said the fact that I have to say hashtag not all when I'm speaking generally about people, that's how sad we've gotten. I said there's a reason
Well,
why we have generalizations about whatever. It's because it's a generalization, and it's because there's a good majority of them that act this way.
this has gone longer than I intended. So we'll give this another 6 minutes, and I'm going to bed because I have
Let's
to
hang,
get up
let's hang
and
up,
go to work.
and then you call me
So,
in 2 minutes.
in closing, we'll give our closing statements. We'll show our channels, the both of us. Obviously I don't have to show my channel because it's here already.
I'm
Subscribe to my
not
channel.
feeling anything. I'm hanging up. Bye.
Okay. Never mind then.
No, I'm so not showing.
You can show your channel here. I don't care.
No, I'm not gonna. Look, my name is my name, and you can find me wherever you want. There you go. That's the shilling I'm doing.
All right, just say where to find you. What is your name on YouTube?
My name's April Rain, and it's also April Rain on both channels. You can find me wherever. Seriously, all you have to do is just Google my name.
Talus just subbed.
April Reigne. All you have to, and you'll find me everywhere. I'm not kidding.
Everywhere, every day. All right, so if that's it for you, April, if you don't mind, I will close off this stream with a discussion to the glorious cunts at large.
Shut it up, because I'm calling you.
Yeah, probably can't call me. My phone's probably off.
Turn it on.
I could try it, but it's probably dead as fuck.
You should have plugged it in, dummy.
Bow chicka bow wow. All right, I am going to head to bed. I will talk to you in the morning.
Plug it in.
I will talk to you in the morning. Don't make me mute you.
Oh, plug it in.
Dirty. Don't make me mute you. We have to discuss
Plug
the
it
ghetto
in.
at large.
You're okay. Fine. Fine. Hang me up. That's fine.
You can't hang yourself up, Jesus Christ.
I was just
Fucking men. No, this is my own. All you have to do is exit.
on yours.
Duh.
Yeah. So, duh. You can't tell me I can't hang myself up because I'm on yours now.
All you have to do is exit the channel, love. That's all you got to do. Just delete the window that you're in, and you'll exit.
I'll tell you what. Plug your phone in, and then we'll talk.
My phone will be plugged in 5 fucking seconds. I will mute you.
I didn't say anything.
All right, out there in the chat and elsewhere, considering my drunkenness and whatnot. After all, this is Drunk Aggie Streams. This will not happen on a regular basis on Sundays. God knows I gotta get up and work in the fucking morning because, you know, I contribute to society like a responsible adult. But with that being said, to both the chat and the rest of the world at large, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and or night.